Hey guys, welcome back to Paneer and Pancakes, the podcast where I, Vaaruni Joshi, an Indian teen in the USA, share the highs and lows of high school life and dual cultures. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's dive right in. So today we are talking about AP classes. Woohoo! I guess. So a little intro, I guess. AP classes or advanced placement courses are basically classes that you can take to earn college credit in high school. If you pass the AP exam, that's administered for every single AP class every single May. And I think originally this was a really good idea. I mean, high school kids can shorten their college credits that are required in high school itself and make life way easier for themselves once they get to college. And yet, AP classes have turned into basically what I'm calling anxiety pitfalls because that's literally what they are. It's no surprise that AP classes are rigorous and definitely demanding because they are college classes, but they've been kind of taken to the next level in high school. I mean, today kids are taking so many AP classes every single year, like I can't even count. Um, and like for example, this year as a sophomore, I don't know anyone that's not taking at least 3 APs this year, including me, which now that I think about it, it doesn't sound like a lot to me anymore because it's become so normalized. You just take as many AP classes as you possibly can. That's literally physically like that you're capable of taking because it'll look good for college. And keeping up with this assignment all the assignments and studying and all of the reading you have to do, specifically for AP history or English classes, it's a lot of work, to like put it really simply. And I think it's not exactly fair to put so much pressure on teens and high schoolers who are doing so much more in addition to all these AP classes under the pretense of getting into a quote unquote good college. Because if your mental health is horrible by the time you actually get to senior year, and start applying for college, then what's the point? I mean, I think in general, teen mental health is not great. Like, let's be honest here, with the ongoing pressure of school and I guess overexposure to social media, even though I hate to generalize it that way, mental health is kind of dipping. Not kind of, definitely is dipping in youth and adolescence. According to a 2017 report by the Child Mind Institute, high school students today are twice as more likely to have anxiety symptoms than teens in the 1980s. Not to mention, AP classes, besides adding to the mental load of students everywhere, kind of now have a stigma surrounding them. And it's kind of unspoken. It's like everyone knows it's there, but no one really hits it dead on in conversation. And even if they get close, they kind of just skirt around it, trying to avoid it, and just never talk about it. So let's be real here. In general, at least in my high school, AP classes have become a kind of weird status symbol. I mean, if you're taking more APs than the average person, you're smarter. And that's better. And you're doing way more. And if you're taking less APs, you're not, to put it simply. And it's really unfair because if you just have a lot on your plate and you don't have time for another AP class this year, it almost like brings you down a rank on the ladder, which is, oh my God, so horrible to say out loud, but it's the truth. And it's not just AP classes that have this whole idea surrounding them, it's honors classes too, and not in a good way. So, I mean, if you're taking the honors version of a class instead of the AP version, what are you even doing? Right? And as supportive and positive and truly inclusive generation that we have now, why do we still have the stereotype? That's ridiculous. I mean, why are our class loads determining our hard work or our success? We're teenagers and we're already kind of making these, as much as I hate to say it, subclasses or unintentional categories, and we're doing the exact opposite of what we should be doing. And we can stop this. Like right now, we can. Like if everyone makes an effort, like let's not be defined by your AP or honors or on-level class load. And yeah, it would just be that easy. But then there's also another layer of this whole stigma and stereotype or whatever you want to call it, and that's the brown kid perspective of it. Like I'm an Indian teen girl who goes to high school, which is shocking, I know. But what I'm trying to say is I feel it. I definitely feel the stereotype surrounding Asian kids being smarter, which is not a new stereotype, but it's definitely heightened by this, I guess we'll call it AP divide, right? And it's just being held to a higher standard for basically no reason at all. And while it is that simple to just end this AP divide, I guess is what I'm calling it now, it's also really not at the same time. It's easier said than done, I guess is the right phrase. Because even if we try as students and as teens to kind of remove this whole stereotype, which by the way, we are for sure. I definitely see that removal of judgment based on your class load, specifically this past year. But yeah, even if we try really hard to, rid ourselves of whatever this is, there is going to be some random auntie who comes up to me at some random party and goes, "Oh, so how many classes are you taking this year?" "Oh, only 3 AP classes." "Oh, my kid is taking 4. Did you not make the cutoff? Like, what happened?" Like, yeah, sure, maybe that's a little exaggerated, but you're lying to yourself if you think that this doesn't happen. I could probably grab a random brown kid off the street and ask them if this has happened to them. And after they would be really confused why I'm asking them this, I could almost guarantee they would say yes. So, yeah, AP classes put a lot of strain on students, high schoolers, teenagers, but especially what's worse is the judgment if you don't take them. So, I mean, it's really a lose lose situation. If you take a lot of them, I guess in some twisted way, you're a little higher on this horrible ladder that we've created, but your mental health is absolutely trash trying to keep up with all of your work. And if you don't take a decent amount, now your mental health is probably as good as it's ever gonna get, right? Or as it's ever been. But you're being questioned by random people all the time, constantly. Why are you not taking more APs? So obviously, what's right here and what's important is to find a balance somewhere in between. Somewhere in between of the, oh, you're only taking 2, and the how come you literally don't sleep? So yeah, I guess to kind of wrap up, I do want to bring some attention to some common symptoms of anxiety and depression in adolescence, just to create awareness for yourself or maybe for someone you know. So some common symptoms of anxiety and depression are loss of interest in spending time with family or friends, or for once enjoyed activities, feeling frustrated or angry even over small matters, a low self esteem, insomnia, or sleeping too much, social isolation, or self harm. And if you think that you or someone you know may be experiencing any of these symptoms, please reach out to someone who can help and share your concerns as soon as possible. And just in general, remember for everyone to take some breaks, you know, and go outside, touch some grass, feel the sun on your face, unless you're like me and you have horrible pollen allergies and you can't step outside during the fall or the spring to literally save your life. And spend some time with your loved ones and practice some self care, right? That's really important. So, thanks for listening to today's episode of Paneer and Pancakes, where we explore the unique journey of a dual culture teen. Don't forget to subscribe and review us on Spotify and YouTube, and follow us on Instagram for updates and more content. I always say us, but it's literally just me. So, yeah, do that. Thanks for tuning in today. Enjoy your long weekend, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye.